Russell Wilson couldn't complete a pass. He was way off his game. I never saw him play that poorly, and his lousy play was the difference in the game, actually, because everybody is raving about the Chargers. They scored 19 points. That was it, and the game was there for the taking. If Seattle's quarterback was on his game at all.
Yeah, that was, and then of course at the end the drop in the end zone, but that was a tip pass. It was hard to catch once it got tipped. But it was
they were there. It was I was watching that and I thought, well, if they score here and tie the game, it's going to be another blown game by the Chargers. Same old Chargers. They came within an eyelash of being the same old Chargers. I'm not sold on the Chargers.
Well, they have that personality. They've always had that personality where they don't hold on to leads and they don't show up all day. I mean, this week. I mean, look at what's going on this week. How the hell do you do? What do you do with this? Chargers are a 10-point favorite at Oakland, and Oakland is horrible. I mean,
it's a walkover.
It's
the Thursday night game is going to be interesting. Carolina at Pittsburgh.
That's going to be a really interesting game. I don't know who's going to watch. I don't know who's going to watch next Monday night. The Giants against San Francisco. What a terrible game. That is a terrible matchup.
Well, I want to see what that San Francisco, who's going to play quarterback for San Francisco next week. That'll be a good choice for San Francisco, and see if the kid from Southern Mississippi can come back and win again. At least the Giants have a decent defense, so it's worth watching that kid again.
Oh yeah, I'd like to see him again. See if he could, repeat his performance. They had a good game plan that last game. They did very well. The Breeders' Cup was good. Football was good. We got starting tomorrow. It's hard to believe, but we actually have college basketball starting tomorrow.
Duke and Kentucky in a tournament game, preseason tournament game, and it's the number 2 and the number 4 ranked preseason teams. Kentucky's ranked ahead of Duke. I find that hard to believe because Duke is loaded, and I don't know what the number is on that game yet, but
Kentucky's,
I'm going to settle in.
The Kentucky is looks like they're anywhere between Pick'em and 1.5. Kentucky's the favorite.
Yeah, well, I'm going to settle in and watch that game because
and then you got
Duke has the best recruiting team in the country this year, and although it's their first game for these young guys, I think Coach K will have them ready, and I'm anxious to see what Kentucky has. That's going to be a great game to watch.
And the other game that's the lineup right now is Kansas is 5.5 or 6, actually 5.5 or 6 over Michigan State.
Well, Michigan State usually starts slow, and Kansas City has another good team. He's in a little bit of trouble with the NCAA. Be curious to see what happens to Self.
Yeah, it's now they got those investigations going on, which is a shame, but it's what it is today. But,
there's a story out of Los Angeles that Magic Johnson called Coach Walton in on the carpet and gave him a chewing out. Not happy with the way the team has been playing, and then they went out and had the worst first quarter they've ever had in a game against Toronto, and they wound up losing by double digits. So that's a situation to keep an eye on there.
Well, I don't know if there's any truth to this, but LeBron, he's had his fingers in the pie about what coaches he's wanted to play for. He had a big impact in Cleveland. I don't know if that'll happen again here, but it probably will actually because he is the guy.
Well, it's a different type of organization than Cleveland was because you got Magic Johnson running the show, and it's not the same as the Cleveland deal. And you also have, the Genie Bus, and organizationally, I'm not sure he's going to have the clout that he had in Cleveland. We'll see.
What is it that Magic wants Walton to do differently?
I don't know. I just know that he's not. Well, I guess he wants the team to play better with a little more. Some guys have not played all that well, and I think he wants to see Lonzo play a little more. I know that because he's played pretty well, and I think it's how he's utilizing the players because I think Magic thinks they should be winning more.
Well, they certainly got a big payroll. They got a lot of people. I would have thought that they'd be a little bit more patient to get the team to gel together. A lot of new players there, but it is what it is. We'll see. It's a big media market. Well, this is going to be a good week. We've got a lot of football. We've got a great Thursday night game. Got a game tonight, Tennessee and Dallas. We're going to see how they come off this situation. The Tennessee just has absolutely terrible offense. They just can't generate points against anybody. Mariota has been a bust.
Well, Schrager picked Tennessee. He said that this morning that Tennessee's coach is a very good defensive coach, and that Amari Cooper may take a little time to get adjusted to Dallas. I think Amari Cooper is going to fit right in, and he gives Dallas exactly what they need. Schrager also picked the Rams on Friday. But I think that this is a great spot for Dallas. First of all, they're undefeated at home this year. Tennessee comes in there with, like you said, a terrible offense. Mariota's thrown 3 touchdown passes the whole season. They're single-dimensional. Offensively, they do have a decent defense, but Dallas is going to be a different kind of offense right now with Amari Cooper at wide receiver because it gives them 2 threats in the passing game, and so they won't be able to jam the box against the running game. They're going to have to be careful, and I think the quarterback for Dallas hasn't played all that badly, and I like his chances against Tennessee. And the number dropped, I think, to 4.5.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people taking the Tennessee line, but this is 6.5 when a lot of that now it is down to 4. I don't like Tennessee at all. I don't see anything from them without an offense, and I believe Amari Cooper is going to make a big difference, a positive difference in Dallas. I agree with you.
Dallas is also 10-3 in primetime games.
Well, that's a good stat. Interesting thing about the NFC East, the Giants have been terrible. Washington fell apart yesterday. Dallas and the Philadelphia Eagles pick up wide receivers with Tate and Cooper, which I think are going to help both teams. So I'm really thinking it's going to come down to the Eagles against the Cowboys as to who's going to win that division. I think you're going to see the other two fall off.
Washington was a bad pick by me against Atlanta. Atlanta's now won 3 straight games. They're getting a little healthier gradually on defense, but they moved the ball against the Washington defense. But Washington, when they fall behind, Alex Smith is just playing very ordinary football. He's not what he was when he was in Kansas City. I don't know if it's coaching or, because Smith was much better last year when he was in Kansas City, and maybe he had more to work with. But Dallas just never could get going in that game, and Atlanta, got ahead and never looked back. And maybe Atlanta's coming on a little bit, although we'll see what happens with them going forward. But they do have that. The quarterback is good, and maybe Atlanta is going to be a factor before the season is over with. But Carolina is a team that's right behind New Orleans, but they've got a tough game at Pittsburgh this Thursday night, and we'll see what happens. They've been very good at home, but they haven't had to go on the road for quite a while. Now they have to go on the road, and we'll see how they do. But Cam is playing well. McCaffrey is they're using McCaffrey well, and the tight end Olsen is back and healthy, and that's a big factor. So, and Carolina defensively is a pretty good. Kuechly is a great linebacker. So this will be an interesting game. Pittsburgh went in, and Baltimore, I think, is now that they're 4-5, they were expected to be better, and Flacco is not doing anything, and their defense, played a decent game against Pittsburgh, but they just couldn't score. They're not scoring, and if you can't score, you can't win. I mean, they held Pittsburgh down pretty well. Pittsburgh played their usual game. They did nothing in the second half, but Flacco couldn't bring his team back. So I'll tell you, the biggest bargain that I think I gave out over the weekend was Alabama giving only 14 points. What a bargain that was.
Everybody's looking for a way to beat Alabama, but I don't know. I don't think there's anybody in college football, that even can stay within 3 touchdowns of that team. They're just absolutely amazing.
Well, Georgia's playing well right now. Maybe there'll be a rematch there, but but outside of that, nobody in that conference is going to beat Alabama.
Well, right now you got the number 2 ranked team is Clemson.
Yeah,
they've given them a tough time in the past, so I just don't see it. I think Alabama's this is a vintage. This is just a special team, and that quarterback, his ability to throw the ball. They've always had good defenses. Their running game is always solid, but having a quarterback that can do what he does, through the air, that's a different element that we haven't seen with Alabama until the second half against Georgia last year. So that's a special situation. But Hank,
Georgia's playing better every week. He's a good coach, and they're coming on. He's got a lot of talent there offensively.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a lot of these big games that are coming down the pike. It's real good. Hank, unless you have something else, I know you're busy today and wrapping up the weekend and starting a new one. Everything's available at JimFeist.com, Hank's Plays, My Plays, and thank you, Hank. I appreciate your time.
Okay, I'm looking forward to tonight's game. I want to see what Dallas can do, and there's a coach who has some pressure on him too, and he's got to win. And I think that Dallas might just be the team to beat long term in that division. We'll see. I don't have a lot of faith in Philadelphia, in spite of the additions they made. But I don't know. Something bothers me about Philadelphia, and I think Dallas is although Dallas is missing one of their top defensive players, who is out this tonight. So we'll see if Mariota can make anything happen. I doubt it.
I doubt it too. If you're going to have a defensive problem, this is the team to play because their offense is putrid. But anyway, thanks, Hank. I appreciate it.
Okay, Jim. Thank you.
Bye-bye.